and looks like we're live.
Awesome.
Abi, welcome to the AMA session we're doing at the PureFi protocol channel.
We're really excited, bro. Really excited. I love what you guys have been doing, Sasha. Excited. I love what you guys have been doing. And yeah. I think there's a small reverb. Is it fine now? Yes, it's fine.
Yeah. I'm sorry for that. With a bit of a reverb is exactly happening. So anyway, hello everyone. Hello PureFi. Hello Safle, but also hello our viewers. So we are having today Abi, who is a CEO and a founder of Safle. And Safle is the project that we recently partnered up with. So this is really exciting. And Safle is also, I'll explain what it is a little bit. I'll read a short description what is Safle, and further we will jump into a discussion what PureFi and Safle are doing together and what's our plans moving forward. A disclaimer that we'll try to keep this video as short as possible. We don't want to make it too long and too boring, just spot on.
Short and informative. Yeah.
Exactly. So we've recently partnered up with Safle, and this is something that I'm quite excited about because this is one of the this is one of those partnerships where is happening exactly how I envisioned, and I'm super happy about it, because it's not an announcement or a partnership for the sake of a partnership. It's actually two projects integrating deeply together. And Safle is
100%.
is a non-custodial Safle is a non-custodial multi-chain crypto wallet and Web3 tooling infrastructure, making the world of cryptos and blockchains safe and simple. So what it actually means, it does sound smart and interesting, but but what and how we will be utilizing the service and how Safle will be integrating our beta product. Before we jump into that, I'll pass the mic to Abi to do a quick intro, tell a bit more about Safle, how he, why he's doing this, and what's the plans, what's the vision behind the project. And also don't forget to mention your previous track record, what you've been busy with for the past years in the space.
Awesome, thank you, Sasha. And it's actually a great great integration, which we even wanted from the perspective of legitimacy and credibility, and giving even everyone who is in retail or in institutional finance, you guys are doing a great job giving them a check mark on how the funds kind of came in. And I think tainted coins would be something to be wary of in the future, because of blockchain being an open transaction space. Anyone can send anything to anyone, and we can't barricade it. But what you guys are doing is filtering out the noise, and that's pretty cool. I'll give you a bit of a background about myself. I started my pursuit towards more and more curious knowledge and controversies which were happening around the world post the 2008 financial crisis, and was deeply following whatever Julian Assange and WikiLeaks and all these things were, whatever was there. And later when I was doing at the time, because of me being good in math, I don't come from a tech background from school times, but I come from a tech background in the last 11 years. So after post school, I started doing accounting, which is like chartered accountant, which is not just normal accounting. And I was working with Mazars, which is a French firm, and I was doing audits of all these big firms, including MR. And the reason of me leaving and quitting also in 1.5 years was MR. And I said I want to cook books, and I saw how the actual financial industry actually works. and things are not as transparent. It kind of gave me this whole guilt conscience while I was pursuing auditing for big firms like these. And I said, I went to my partner and I said, sorry, I can't do this anymore. I think I'm going to become a writer. That's when I was just 20 at that time. And luckily my mother agreed, because I'm like a single mother-led child. So my mother agreed, and she said, if you want to pursue communications, then you better off go to, England, where the source of the language came from. So I basically went for my MS. I completed my degree, obviously undergrad degree in commerce and in honors, and went for my MS in completely different communication, psychology, and digital communications. And I ended up in Nottingham. And when WikiLeaks was taken down, it was the same time I had reached Nottingham. And now I was like, where do I find, because I was still curious. There was still so many things that I needed to learn, and what were coming out with even Snowden and everything. And so it was really, really remarkable for me to learn, and then find that information. I had to go to the dark web and pursue that, so that we can get all those information. And when I was trying to get a hold of some information, I stumbled upon that I had to pay 32 Bitcoins to get that. All right, to get this document. I'm not going to share what the document was, but to get that document, I had to give someone 32 Bitcoins. And that's when I first knew that there was something known as Bitcoin. And then me and my the friend that got me into it and who introduced me to it, to my friend, his name is also Sasha. That is pretty cool. So the guy who actually made me read the white paper on the day one, and then the rest was the kind of history, because we were young and rebellious. I seriously never thought it as a financial instrument. We never thought it like, oh, it's going to change the world till this, what we are seeing now, a couple of $1 million market cap. We didn't even understand finance or the markets that way back then, right? So we used to just we knew what a Mt. Gox account was. We knew how to deploy, a Bitcoin library on our machine. Pretty much all of that, and then started propagating it from RAM times, but with the help of Sasha. So yeah, and I'm not going to share where he is right now, but this is how. This is how we got in. yeah, and then so when I came back to India in February 2013, I had a few Bitcoins and like a few more at that time, obviously. But when I came back, my mom said, "This is something." Like I said, "Mom, do you know what this is?" And what we've been doing, and obviously I completed my MS, and I started programming just to keep my system private. I didn't program for people. I've never programmed for people. I've never programmed to say that, oh, you want to pay me and I'm gonna program for you. No, I don't want to do that. So I read everything about technology, TCP/IP, basically hardware. I started from hardware and then went into software. And hence, I can basically get an understanding of how things operate in general. All right, because you secure your own machine, you want to make yourself private, you want to make your life private, you want to understand how disk partitions work and how the disk, memory storage and everything works, and then all comes out to the cybersecurity part, or comes out to be in deep tech segment. So it's just curiosity that brought me towards doing things. 2013, I came back. I started wanting to do something known as Go for Anything. It was too early for its time. It was a social network for travel, where travel bloggers can come and create content in a free economy. And when they create content, the engagement of that content would give them and reward them with flip coins. And when I told this idea to people were like, yeah, people were like, what do you mean flip coins? I was like, it's going to be just like it's a reward currency, and it's a travel reward currency. And people, it was too early for its time. It was 2013, 2014. All these videos were on YouTube as well. It was really fun. They have my voice. So it was just all made in-house. But this is what I was doing then. And then I because I was so young, and I encashed 4-digit Bitcoins back then, but stupidity, to make this project. But I learned how to program on microservices driven frameworks. And I learned how to, so we programmed Galileo, Amadeus, and ITA as travel distribution systems. So people could have bought the tickets if they had minted flip coins. But I found no protocol engineers, no nothing, Later, Ethereum happened. I was taking a sabbatical for 2 years because I was so depressed that this project didn't work out, and I was so young at that time, and it was like a breakup from a partner. It was not about tech; it was more about this partnership and like the breakup. That for me, it was like the first life. So I took a sabbatical. I wrote a book that time. It was called Dreams for Sale, and a publisher came 54th in Wattpad. It was a story about an American guy who developed a technology and he sells it for $1 million. And when he comes back, he only gets to know that his company has been shut down, bought and shut down. So so this is how kind of I remained in the industry. But 2017 onwards, I got back in again, and this time from a community evangelizing role. 2016 end, basically, I helped more than 100 projects in total from then to now. I don't take anything in terms of allocation or anything, but we evangelize it by setting up Somatic, Marlin, from day zero. We were there, all the announcements, the tech workshops, running their test networks, everything. And then came the time where the community, we had to be secure in the community. So we started doing small meetup and events from 2017, tech-based, like tech, and founders come on the stage like TEDx, and they speak about it and stuff. And I started to get to know what the community really, really needs, apart from like being scam resistant as a community. But what does the community really, really need? And I found out that the community needs to manage their on-chain identity. People are not understanding what on-chain identities are. People are thinking that it's wallets and it's just money, and then so in general, like there's my wallet. My wallet has an identity card as well. My wallet has different currencies as well, and so we really wanted to up the ante, all right, of blockchain in general for the retail, and wanted to make it so easy that my mother could use it. Your mother could use it, or it's easier. And they are really, really interested in using like social networks which have like username and password. So we said, okay, fine, but we still want to make it non-custodial. I never want, because I've also faced the Mt. Gox hack. So we don't want to be in that situation of custody. I'm not saying that it's not important for people. Sometimes custody is important also, because if they're reckless and cannot understand how to save, then that's important. But in general, we always wanted to know and work upon a non-custodial framework. That's when I started InBlocks Me. It was known as InBlocks Me, and now it's called the Safle project. But InBlocks became like a big thing in India there, because it's a completely community-driven thing. I had no, I handpicked people from the places I met, the events that I did. That's the team of Safle today. The co-founders that I met, it was one by one that we kept meeting, and Shikha and Megha and Priyanshu. Apur, such a good stacked team with a great ethos that it all came together to make a multi-chain non-custodial identity wallet, which makes it super interesting as a framework, as a project. But that's what the last 10 years of my life have been, like 14, apart from the Bitcoin times, but 10 in this space. And also a 2-year sabbatical where I figured out how to get out of depression in general. But that's what it is. That's what it has been. And now we are, yeah.
Can you explain? Can you summarize not just your path, but what is Safle in few sentences?
Yes, absolutely.
Why is it important for the industry to have products of that nature? And what is the long-term vision, like the problem and the solution and the vision?
Yeah, so the problem, there are many...
but very shortly, because I really want to focus on the partnership.
Yes, yeah. Absolutely. Very shortly, I would say that there is a problem of handling many keys right now. Because of the multi-chain, like Internet of Blockchain ecosystem, we are going and we are managing keys. And we're managing keys by securing the seed phrases and mnemonics. And we're keeping all of this at 10 chains, so 10 keys, right? And we're then securing that. So managing keys is a problem. That's why people go to custodians and they leave it there, right? But if you wanted the same kind of life with, without the custodian, then you can do that with Safle. So many asset, many keys is the first problem. Then you have this kind of one single sign-on service that you get with us, because we have a good backend stack, which we have integrated with partners like yourself. It becomes really, really easy for people to to have single sign-on service, like how we used login with Google, login with Facebook. So it's going to be login as Safle. And it just opens up with one key. You're opening all these doors. So you're opening the doors for any metaverse and any cryptoverse by this one key. And that's what the problem is right now. And we're solving that problem from the retail side. And then the opportunities inside the wallet are just insane. There's swaps, there's staking. People don't, so delegation services, liquid staking, transferring by name, because you get your @ username, and that username is unique. Cannot be owned by anyone else except you. It can be transferred, auctioned on chain. You can link your avatar, which is an NFT, to it. There's many things coming. So that's very cool about the project, which from the retail side. And from the project decentralized application side, or the developer segment, it's very interesting, because straight away, by using one SDK, you can straight away start using wallet provider and Web3 provider for all these 12 to 15 chains that we are working on. So this is like super cool for me, and I'm going to be extending my chain support, very fast to other chains. And I think we are moving on to the Internet of Blockchain space, and it still needs this whole infrastructural layer, which was kind of missing in an open source mechanism. And it has to be run by the governance segment. It has to be run by the community. The community needs to have been building with community. They have told and taught me what they need, and I served it for their purpose. And now it's going to be in their hands, and they will tell me what to do next and our team to do next. So I think we all are very excited to work on this.
Nice one. Thanks. I mean, there's a lot of information, obviously, and I will encourage everyone who's interested to learn more, and whoever is listening, to go and read documents, to go and read the Medium article, and let's just jump straight in, because I don't want to make it too long, but I want to be very specific on for our community to understand what exactly the two projects are doing together, and I'll emphasize on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
First of all, there is a technical integration that is already happening, right? So we are integrating Safle wallet as one of the authorization method at PureFi infrastructure. Like everything, all the products that we're building, people will be able to log in with Safle wallet. And vice versa, the Safle's team, Abi and the team, are working on integrating our beta product into Safle ID. Essentially, that enables them to assign an AML score for each of the participants, like every user, essentially. Why is it cool? Why is it cool? I mean, yeah, of course, it is cool to hear that the products are getting real world traction. But of course, I mean, what my community wants to hear, and I just touch it very quickly, is every every B2B partnership that we form, the main rule is obviously to share our vision and to share our values regarding the cleanliness of funds and what it does for the industry.
Absolutely.
And of course, one of the main rules for any B2B partner to hold, to get access to the PureFi products, in our case, this is beta, they need to have a certain amount of UFI tokens, right? So what it means for our community is that essentially every partnership we make, this is a demand, creates absolutely demand for the token. And I'm very excited, first of all, not just to be here, but like being first in announcing this. But a part of just the technical integration, me and Abi, we agreed to kind of make the partnership more fruitful for both communities, and we are engaging into multiple exciting things. So without dragging it for too long, what I want to announce is that PureFi has agreed with Safle to start yet another strategic PureFi community round, which is essentially an allocation that our community gets, and that will be starting off this week. And I think this is the first time we're announcing this, and our marketing teams are working on plans and announcements, et cetera, but hey, this is start of a great partnership. We're already working on the integration. Now we want to provide something super, super cool for both of the communities. And in order for our community to get a taste of that partnership, we've agreed to allocate a certain amount of tokens. I'm not going to go into details. This is not the purpose of this call. If you're interested, and I'm advising you to be interested in that, it's something that you should be reading the information that our marketing teams will be releasing very, very soon. What is important for our community and our investors to understand is that when we're doing a round, the allocation that we receive from a project, Safle, we are not just like, we are not just increasing, the amount of whales, right? So, because we're essentially doing it, kind of a token swap. So where Safle will be holding a quite large amount of UFI tokens. And why this is important? This is important because this is the prerequisite. This is the rule of getting access to the product. Means like in order for any B2B partner to get access to and start integrating our product, even if they're interested, they need to have a certain amount of UFI tokens. In this partnership with Safle, doing a round together for our community will automatically mean that Safle will own a certain amount of tokens in order and use that as collateral for using the services, for beta.
Retail first, yes, exactly.
Yeah. So this is super important. Yeah. We only support projects that share our
we would make it gasless for them, right? So they don't have to do this. This is going in the background, and every retail user is getting that score for literally free. See, now, like I'll come to this, why it makes so much sense. Like the strategic round also makes a lot of sense, and we getting into it because we want to encourage. We worked on meta transactions since 2.5 years. We've been working for meta transactions because we wanted to give Safle ID for free as well on ETH. But obviously, because of the ETH transaction cost, I can't pay for all Safle IDs, although if I wanted to. But we still use that meta transaction because we give that for free on Polygon and other chains. So getting a Safle ID is completely free. Getting a score now becomes free as well for let's say the first 100,000, 200,000 users. It will be completely free, and it'll sync up every time we make a request. So I think holding UFI bags is good for us as inventory, and I think the same way for PureFi, holding Safle is great because we also are a governance-based token, which has also utilities, like so many utilities from the developer segment, the SDK that Sasha has integrated. Whenever you make a call, you're basically spending Safle, but in the beginning, it's free tier, right? And once you start using it for multi-chain, there's like thousands of requests going. You still will be paying in Safle. You don't need a credit card or a debit card to pay, for these services. And that's why we're holding inventory for each other. It's like holding ETH, and now we pay for ETH for transaction fees. So it's basically, you're basically holding not for speculative reasons, but also holding it for utilities, such as using services with Safle, subscriptions to proxy wallets, subscription to like multi-sig wallets, and many various other things. So I think that this is a great bunch. This is a great bunch. I'm loving it.
I'm in agreement with you. I mean, if I wasn't as excited as you are, I wouldn't be. We wouldn't be here anyway. And again, so I want to emphasize that what's going on between PureFi and Safle has been in works for quite some time, and we're only able to release those news gradually to the community when they're ready to be released. But my partners, Slava and the marketing team will kind of be like shushing me, but like we have about 15 to 20 ongoing integrations in parallel. Some of them are ongoing in parallel. Some of them formed our B2 partnership roadmap. And I'm very excited that that Safle, we met at the right place at the right time, and we we are able to release this news now. I will touch base very, very quickly.
There's also like a coincidence that I'm going to the same place where we met for the first time after your call.
Nice one, nice one. And probably we're going to meet later on this week in Dubai.
Yes, absolutely.
Probably,
absolutely.
Because I need to make this business trip. I need to go there for 1 week and close down all commitments before end of this year. Yes. On other positive news, I think all of our listeners should get a taste of excitement. We have very big plans, and I'm not just saying it for the sake of speculation. No. We have 100%. Very big plans for the next 6 weeks. So far, marketing and business development are working hand in hand, and we have a pipeline which is almost full until end of January next year. We are proud to say that not just the B2B partners that you heard of, but also like different IDO platforms are already starting to integrate PureFi Beta.
That's 100%.
For example, ScaleSwap, one of our partner IDO platforms, is already integrating PureFi Beta. This will be news very, very soon. We're
awesome.
We're preparing for a lot of more, and I really want to tell you something which is this is related for centralized exchange listing, and I will just leave this out here without any comments. So centralized exchange listing and PureFi, this is something that I'm very, very excited, and this is something that I've been working on for a long time. And if I'm not going to jinx it, you will hear this very, very, very soon. So
awesome. That's awesome.
And now we have been actually bombarded with a lot of questions, and you have you have it in front of you, right? So let's go.
Oh, seen. Okay. Oh,
let's go and pick up the questions first from the Twitter section. So as you are being a guest, feel free to pick the first question and answer it.
Okay, so I think some of the questions obviously like are not two questions that I think we can
some of them are repeating, obviously, but
correct.
The one that is more relevant and more interesting for everyone to hear.
Yeah, so let's pick up the lucky number 7. Yeah, lucky number 7. What would be the main objective of the of this project, right? So let's pick that up. So I think the objective of this project is to bind the multi-chain atmosphere that has been created in the blockchain native space. What Linux did for an open source infrastructural system, we're trying to do it for this community. We don't have any keen agenda to become, we want to become big in terms of community. We want to be big in terms of the support that we can bring onto the chains. We want to be, that's big for us. And I think that's what the objective is, to basically integrate that oneness in people's mind, and also to make it seamless as an experience across chains, to store, manage assets, and manage assets, right? And to mint. Again, when I say we are infrastructure, so we are holding Linux is just the infrastructure layer, in that sense, and you build applications on top of it. We are just making the access simpler to these protocols, even such as PureFi and others, like to any protocol. Like when we're doing swap, we don't write our own swap smart contracts. We rather work with 1inch, and we rather work with the best minds in the space, and we make what is missing for a better price discovery, for slippage management, for making queue services there. So we're working to make better roads, better infrastructure to reach these protocols. And accessibility is a problem because you can't take the car. So let's say some wallets are a car. You can't take the car into the ocean, at least, right? You can't take the car and you can't fly. And this is like what blockchains are like this. Some blockchains are on land, some blockchains are in air, and some blockchains are in water. So you're not able to use this one wallet till now as a vehicle to go to these protocols. So I think our objective is to give them a superpower rocket that can go, they can fly, they can drive, they can go inside water, and it can be seamless in terms of interoperability and using blockchain services and applications across chains, storing assets, managing assets, accessing dApps. Our objective is very, very simple on the retail side. And while we were building this, we had to build infrastructure for ourselves. This was an application used for the retail, and we had to build an infrastructure services for ourselves. And we thought as a team, we're not going to make this private. Otherwise, we could have sold this IP for whatever, segment. But we said, let's throw it out. Let's show it to the community, and let's see, what kind of things happen in the future. So the objective is to keep building an open source community or development community, more so like a Linux or blockchain, to give infrastructure support, like the Red Hat Linux did, similar types, and love the community together and build killer infrastructure. Basically, the objective is very, very simple.
Nice one.
To keep it safe, also, yeah. So let's pick up one more.
I have a few ideas for your partnerships in mind. Let's chat after the listing, so we don't spoil it. We don't spoil future news.
Yeah.
Let's go to the live section. So
let's do that. I think this pretty cool question. Will Safle integrate PureFi? Right. With Safle integrate PureFi, Safle will definitely integrate PureFi and has already started to integrate PureFi. In that sense, cross integration has already started. I'm going to take an update from the tech team on where it has reached, but like we did, any token raise first has this private segment. So there's already that in place. And then once we kind of have our own chain identities, we will work together for having it on BSC, Polygon, because Safle ID can be ported to any of the chains. And this answers the 15th question as well, which is, are you cross-chain? Yes, we're completely cross-chain. And we have given support right now for EVM-based chains. Our next is Tezos. We're completing smart contracts for Tezos, and we write native smart contracts. So we don't use we don't use any compilers, to transpilers basically, to move code from one chain to the other. We'd rather write base contracts and then make integration portability possible. So any chain which would be supporting smart contract framework, which could be blockchain 3.0 and above, we will be there, with them. So Safle will integrate PureFi by giving retail users the ability to also have an AML score and be better as a human, and so that's what it is. So I think we answered 2 questions from 4 and 15.
And I'll answer 2 more questions by again emphasizing on what is the plans for this week and onwards.
Yeah.
First of all, Abi, congratulations on securing and listing with Polka Starter.
Thank you.
This is major. So this is happening on the 16th of December. What we are doing, and you will be able to hear about this very, very soon, is that we are doing a strategic PureFi round prior to the Polka.
For your community.
Yes. It has a special terms, like wait for it. You'll be able to read this instructions in Medium article and just wait for it and be ready. Then what's going to happen, this is we just said about the round, we said about the partnership, we announced your dates, and what's missing is that obviously as we all know, the day after the IDO, the secondary market trading starts, and around this time we'll be launching a farming program as well together. And this is something that probably a lot of our community members are quite excited to hear. I'm around, of course, but then the chain of events.
People have been asking me too. So yeah, 100%. There is 100% interest for the farming segment.
Yeah. So we've kind of touched that. Go on, pick the next question.
All right, let's pick one more because if possible, I'll have to leave for the next segment, right? but let's pick two more.
Fine. What do you think about the question number 10?
Okay. let's not. Okay, fine. Interesting about DeFi. How do you think bull market will be long? See, I think these exponential cycles have brought us to this segment where there's too much real things happening. All right, the super cycles will always be there. The volatility is always going to be there. So if we go spike up, if we did 5 to 50 and 50, like 5 to 60, I would say from 5 last year to 69, and then from 69, why like a good, I would say, healthy market should be going up and down, and there should be a good level of accumulation and distribution, cycles happening along. And I think just the volatility should not scare people off, and don't think about bull market ending or will be long. We're all bullish. It's all been summer since the last 12 years. It's just been summer, right? Let's just see the chart on how that's going. So, which was not in the case of AI driven technologies, or not in the case of the stock bubbles that existed in the equity markets. We need to understand that as more and more adoption, goes strong, there's going to be more applied use cases, and that's what bull market is, right? We will have more demand to use blockchain technology in all protocols, and in general, if you guys are not hodling, then like. So for me, and I think DeFi has matured over the last 4 years from Sasha, you're on mute. I think DeFi from the times of ETHLend, ETHLend, and DeFi has like matured in the last 3 years. So much good liquidity, like good solid LPs coming in, and now institutional guys becoming LPs and validators. Good to see that. If they're becoming LPs and validators, then they're respecting us and respecting the industry, at least on the use case of how we can use that as exchange transfer of value over the internet, like a solid state to transfer value over the internet. That's for sure. They have accepted this principally, and I think that's bullish, right? And slowly, there are more forms of synthetics and derivatives coming out on DeFi. So TradeFi is definitely moving to DeFi, and I think projects like Sasha's PureFi, help a lot in bridging that gap of tainted money to real money, or the color of money really counts. And yeah, so I think I'm pretty bullish, and it will be long. Even if we go into a segmented bearish sentiment, it would you should still keep calm and carry on. That's what I would say.
Yeah, that's regardless on what's going on in the market, really keeping the head cold and having a long-term vision. Hey, listen, one last question that I want to pick, and that's for Safle. So the question, can you tell us what's the main targeted user base for Safle? Is it business, corporates, developers? Also, which services are provided by Safle to those categories? I think.
Sorry, could you? What services? Okay, what services are
okay. First of all, who's the targeted?
Yeah, so let me
providing to them.
Yes. Let me dive deeper on the target audience. So we're basically going. If you guys know what personas are, we want to cater the B2C market, which is the retail market, which is people like let's say me individually, or Sasha individually, or a group, or even like a restaurant, even anyone who would be a recipient of using a wallet, right? Now, these could be a new guy, which we call a newbie Newton in our in the team, or it could be a hodler Harry who needs to store a lot of assets, all right, or it could be a degen David, which is a DeFi degen and being a liquidity provider going into stake farms and stake pools, or it could be the gamer Gary. So these are like 4 personas, and gamer Gary is like someone who is like going to Twitch and streaming live. He's an NFT collector, all day gaming dabs, and probably even gambling sometimes. So these kind of we've got very good sentiment towards the retail adoption, and we're working towards to facilitate these 4 personas. And I think it covers a good board across 70 to 80% of the whole community is either one of these. So and the Newton newbie or the newbie Newton are the ones who have not yet entered the ecosystem, which is 97.5% of the whole world still. And we would want them, they've been traditional Web2 users, and we want them to, have a taste of the life, on the Web3 side, with having the same seamless experience and frictionless experience on what they had in the Web2 side. So they're like online shoppers, their first time crypto experience. This should be their first time crypto experience. They can come from any place in the world. It's a global segment. So yeah, these are the types of things for the retail audience, which is the B2C or the consumer market. All right. Now I will go to the B2B segment because because we develop web technologies and tools and infrastructure tools for the Web3. All right, which means that we have Web3 providers, we have onboarding services. What Sasha was saying about login via Safle. So plugging in our SDK, and then we have API endpoints. We have API bundles, which which people need to use in general for dApp development, straight away from one place. So you get 3 of these things, and then dApp analytics, smart contract analytics, and stuff like that. Analytics, not audits. Functional analytics of which users are using, which methods are being used more, which are stale methods, the health and hygiene of the node monitoring. All of that is completely a suite that again we provide, and you don't have to go to AWS to get this done. So we solved this for the Biddler Bob. We solved this for the Biddler Bob, and the second we solved it for the corporate Charlie. So we are still working with some institutions and corporate Charlies, still require Web3 providers and public RPC nodes or dedicated RPC nodes. So we will have a fun time, serving both sides of the market. And I think that is what is really important. We want to serve the entire ecosystem, in general. That's what the whole thing is. So we won't leave anyone behind while taking off from this plan.
Nice. I'm glad we're in the same boat.
On the same rocket.
We're in the same rocket, exactly. Well, yes. I think we've reached all the questions. We've answered all the questions. We've covered pretty much all the important aspects of the partnership and of our mutual plans and the plans of every project separately. Again, we are focusing on this partnership because it is great utility for both use cases. Second of all, it is an ability for users to see the actual tokens are being utilized for its, again, utility. And third of all, there is a lot of added value that we are provided to our token holders, of PureFi token holders, through such partnerships. We're enabling you to participate in a strategic round. Nobody else has this. And we are also enabling you to then participate in the farming and then stay with us, get a taste of what's coming in the next few weeks. Be excited, and hey,
stay safe.
Thanks everyone for joining. Abi, thanks for your time. This being
thanks, Sasha. Thanks for inviting me.
Well, we shall do it more often, and probably we should.
No. We should do some townhouses, community townhouses together for sure, 100%. I'm all up for that. Yeah. Awesome, Sasha. Thank you so much for having me here. Thank you for everyone tuning in, and I hope we build something cool for you guys. And if you want us to build something special, just write it on a Telegram group or a Discord channel. We've got 17,000 plus members on our Discord, and they're, our developers are there as well. And if you want to reach out to us for anything, we are available on social, on Twitter, on majorly like Twitter and Telegram, I suppose is where you can catch up with our team. And for tech guys, Discord, that'll be best.
More importantly, just keep following the news. And
yes, absolutely. Like stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned and wait for what's coming. Thanks again, 100%. Abi. Have a lovely day. Thanks everyone for watching. Till the next time. Bye.